Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video tutorial for Maverick Render. In this example, we are going to use a model from Sketchfab that you can download for free from the link we'll leave in the description. As always, many thanks to its author. We go to Maverick where we already have the model imported and a small scene set up. The first thing we're going to do is change the layout to animation because that's what we'll mainly be doing. The scene we've set up only has a multiclone with the model to make a staggered distribution. You've now seen that it's a very eye-catching effect that will give your animations an extra level of quality, which is a very useful resource you can use in your animations. Here you can see the final result. You can see how the camera rises slightly and the depth of field is animated from the foreground to the last object. Let's see how we can do it. First, we create a transform motion controller and drop it onto the camera. We extend its duration on the timeline to 90 frames and also set the last frame. We go to a final frame and set the camera movement so it rises a bit. We check by scrubbing that this is what we want to achieve. We're also going to add a small rotation on the appropriate axis. We check the animation and accept it. Now we're going to work on the depth of field. We right-click on the IPR and uncheck the Visible Global Dwarf option so the blur appears. Now we need to set the focus point to define what we want to focus on. To do this, we right-click on the point we want and do set focus point. It's also very quick to use the shortcut, which is Ctrl-Shift-Left-Click. We can change the focus point quickly, and we see how the focus adjusts instantly. Now let's go to the camera properties and lower the aperture value like on a photographic camera. As we lower it, we see how the scene exposure increases, so we use the lock option to keep it constant. If we lower the aperture too much, we can get a very strong blur. We set the aperture to a value of 4, which is more suitable. Now we need to animate the focal distance. When we change the focus in the IPR, we see how the value changes. By right-clicking on the focus value, we do a set animation key to add a keyframe. We already have a first keyframe. Now we go to the final frame, and with Ctrl-Shift-Click we change the focus, and we automatically get another keyframe. We now have our focus animation, and we see how the depth of field works. If we hit play, we can see the animation we've created. In this case, we don't want the focus to move from the beginning, so we're going to add a keyframe near the end of the animation to keep the focus on the foreground. Now we have much more of the animation with the focus fixed, and then it will quickly shift to the final object. Let's generate a preview to better see the effect before rendering. We can now see it and it's the effect we want, but we're going to make a few small adjustments. We're going to adjust the easing of the camera movement so that it ends slowly and also starts slowly. We can also configure the easing from the keyframe mode, so the final keyframe ends slowly. Lastly, we just need to set up the render. From the render panel, we go to timeline and set the resolution, the sampling level to a value between 6 and 9, and the output path. With the final render button, the video creation will begin. And here is the final result. You've now seen that it's a very eye-catching effect that will give your animations an extra level of quality. See you in the next videos.